yesterday, I went to go see Deadpool and Wolverine.
I tried to see it this weekend. Every Showtime completely sold out. Unless I wanted to get those stupid D-box seats, and I'm not paying $23 for a ticket.
I ended up paying, it was, well, I think for the two, because I went with B1, we went to a 7 o'clock show last night. I think it was
$26 or $32.
33, I think, for the two of us, I think, if I remember correctly.
16, $17 each.
Yeah, so that wasn't terrible. It was, and it's worth it because I don't go to the movies that often, and I wanted to see it on a big screen. And I'm kicking myself now because I should have gone to an earlier show in the Real D 3D theater because I think it might have been looked a little cooler in 3D, and the screen would have been bigger. So that was a little bit of a bummer because I went to an AMC instead of, like, we have Cinemarks here, which usually have bigger theaters. The AMCs have one big theater.
Yeah, I'm a Cinemark guy. I'm part of the Cinemark like movie pass that I pay $9.99 a month for, and they get the free ticket, no online surcharges. Every other ticket's $9 regardless of what I'm going to see.
There you go. So that's worth it if you go to movies a lot. I'm usually too busy or don't feel like going to a movie, or I'll usually wait for them to come out. But this one I had to see because there's going to be so many spoilers. I I'd stayed offline all weekend for the most part to avoid any spoilers because this movie I knew was going to be filled. Well, the main spoiler I was trying to avoid was who Lady Deadpool was because I was convinced it was Taylor Swift. B1 and I had talked about it. She was convinced it was Blake Lively. I was convinced it was Taylor Swift. I will let you guys watch it to see who it is. So that was the main reason I wanted to see it really and stayed off social media. But so in a nutshell, let me kind of go through the movie without spoiling too much. I'm trying to think where to kind of start without. So Mike, you kind of alluded to multiverse stuff. Obviously, the multiverse has to come into play in this movie. I don't think I'm spoiling anything.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you are a Marvel fan, you know there's going to be some sort of multiverse.
This is the first true crossover film, kind of, where the mutants and Marvel timeline have crossed.
Correct. And that's where Deadpool comes in, because Deadpool is kind of the bridge between those two universes, essentially, the MCU and the Fox universe of the X-Men. So, in a nutshell, hilarious. Laughed, a lot of laugh out loud moments for sure. I laughed quite frequently.
The chemistry between Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds and those guys being best friends had to be absolutely fucking perfect.
It was great. There's so many little inside jokes. If you follow the two of them, it's so great. However, the plot of this movie is terrible. It is one of the most convoluted, bad superhero movie timelines with no give a fucks about it. Didn't give a fuck about the the story. The plot was dumb. It was I
kind of assumed that beforehand because the way they interviewed it, and he said, you don't have to watch any of the previous movies, anything like that. You can watch this just as a standalone movie. That's where I kind of assumed that the plot was going to be.
Yeah, exactly what you said. You did need to watch probably to be in the loop. I would make sure, and I know you've already watched this, but you need to watch Loki.
Okay.
You need to be, and I guess that's kind of a spoiler, but not really. If you haven't watched Loki, if you have watched it, then you do the math. Now, it was, and I said this to B1 earlier, who was about 5 minutes before the movie, she looked at me as like we're pulling into the theater. She looked at me and she went, oh my God, this is going to be a bunch of multi-universes and time stuff, isn't it? And I said, yeah. Of course. What do you think? I go, and I said to her something very specific that has to do with the story, so I don't want to give it away. Even though I hadn't watched it yet, I knew what they had to do in order to make something work, if you know anything about the history of Wolverine. So I said, of course. Of course. And I said that to her, and she goes, "Oh no!" And I just watched her go from being so excited about seeing this movie at the potential of
Just completely
seeing Taylor
deflated.
Swift. I watched her go, "Oh," because she cannot keep up with Inception. Is her least favorite movie of all time. She cannot handle time stuff.
Great movie.
The dreams in levels of dreams and stuff slowing down, and then you throw a multiverse on top of it and these kind of movies, and she fucking it makes her head explode, so she can't fucking handle it.
She was a real big fan of Tenet, huh?
Say that again. You cut out.
She was a real big fan of Tenet.
Didn't hate. Oh, she hated that movie. I hated that movie too, but she hated it even more. That's the one where everything's backwards, right? Isn't that what it was?
Yeah.
Or it goes backwards at different times. Or
going forward and backward at the same time, and trying to.
Yeah, Memento. She hates Memento because that was the one that's like all backwards or whatever, which is such a great movie. But anyway, yeah. So she was not, she was kind of a little bit, oh shit, what did I get myself into? And then she got in there and she was laughing a lot, I have to say. She was laughing quite a bit. I was laughing quite a bit because the movie is filled with incredible cameos. If you're especially into the Marvel Universe and, past stuff, all the cameos are great. Some unexpected ones. One that's really fucking hilarious, the way they do it. But I would say overall, the movie is a 2-hour meme, Mikey. That's what it is.
To be honest with you, that's what I expect from Deadpool movies. They're a one watch for me.
Yes.
Like I enjoy them the first time through, and I can't really stand it the second time through. It's just like it's a popcorn flick to me. So my expectations aren't going in there that this is going to be the Marvel movie that sets up the timeline for the next 10 years or anything like that. I expect to go in there and laugh like an absolute buffoon for a couple hours and then be done with it.
The problem with that is, for me, is Wolverine's a very personal character to me. I love Wolverine. It's Superman, Hulk, Wolverine for me. And Hulk and Wolverine are the rage. I think just lets me. Yeah, I think the Hulk wins just because I know he's him and Wolverine had a good fight, but he won the fight. Wolverine survived. Just threw him on different sides of the world, and he found his way back together. But anyway, so speaking of the Hulk, great preview. Keep that in mind.
That was my next question.
Pretty good preview. Pretty good preview. Couple, I will, some great references in this movie for sure. For the big guy, big green monster, and others. But I gotta tell you, the problem is, as a Wolverine guy, while I did get some of the Wolverine rage I was looking for, now that it's not Fox and it's kind of moved over, and Deadpool's so kind of graphic that I was expecting some super graphic Wolverine stuff. Get some of
like a Logan type deal, because Logan was super graphic, and
you do get some of that. I was looking for even more. And especially because of what they teased in the preview about how he's the worst Wolverine, which they set it up in the preview to be a certain way, like, he let everybody down. But I, in my mind, knew what that meant. And I'm not going to blow it for you, but if you're a Wolverine fan,
I've only seen,
you know what that means.
The one trailer that we showed on this show is the only time I've ever seen the trailer for it. I haven't seen any other clips, trailers, or anything for it.
Well, yeah, that's just the one thing they said in that trailer. And what it means to the general public watching it means one thing. Oh, I let everybody down. Because, I wasn't there for the team or whatever. That's what it's implying. In my mind, a Wolverine fanatic went, oh, I know what that means. I know what that means. So I'll leave it to the movie for you guys to figure that out. But, because I don't want to spoil anything. But they should have shown it in the movie. This is what kills me. Like there's so many opportunities. Instead, we got montage instead of what could have been something that could have been epic for Wolverine in his new world where he's allowed to be the Wolverine we all know and love. You know what I mean?
Yellow suited Wolverine, our introduction to him.
Dude, it's so awesome. Dude, there was a moment, I will say there was a moment in the movie where I audibly yelled out loud, almost yelled, oh, fuck yeah. Just like that. Like it was, I had a nerd boner. I was fucking nerd bonered out, man. I was so excited at what happened. It was the coolest thing.
That was me standing up screaming when Captain America picked up Mjolnir. That was me going absolutely nuts in the movie theater.
You'll know exactly what happened or what part of it. And you're going to think it's one moment, but it's actually another. I know when you watch it, you're going to go, oh, that's what Dom loved. But it's another moment. It's another moment. So, and I'll see if you can figure it out.
I'm seeing it next weekend. So,
are you really? Great? Okay, cool. So, Now I will say, I'm glad I went to go see it. While it wasn't the greatest film I've ever seen in my life, I know it's a Deadpool movie and a Marvel movie, so I don't know what I was expecting out of a plot. I maybe was looking, like you said, looking for some more of a setup for a universe and where it's going to go from here and how it ties into the Avengers and all these upcoming other movies.
The last few Marvel movies have been kind of lackluster plot-wise, and they're not really pointing in any major direction, to be honest with you. Like I know that there's 2 Avengers movies coming out over the next 2 years, and I got no real
Russo brothers, by the way, are in on
it. Yet previously, there was already a tease of Thanos, 3 movies before the Avengers. You know what I'm saying? There was this general idea. Now that Jonathan Majors is gone and Kang is gone, it leaves this blank space.
That's it. I recommend people go see it. I don't think it's going to be anybody's favorite Marvel movie at all, unless you're just a casual. If you're a casual comic book movie fan, be one. Well, no, I take that back because I thought she left the movie liking it, but then she came over today and said, actually, that wasn't a very good movie we saw. It was funny, but it wasn't a very good movie. And she's right. It really wasn't a very good movie, but there were plenty of good moments made for comic book nerds. So in that sense, it's just a comic book nerd meme for 2 hours, which is, that's what Deadpool's, I guess, kind of
popcorn flick.
Yeah, I guess that's what Deadpool's kind of supposed to be anyway.